What is the real secret to success? Is it talent? Is it intelligence? Is it being born in the right place at the right time to the right family? For decades, psychologists, educators, and coaches assumed that natural talent was the primary predictor of who would rise to the top. They were wrong. Welcome to Book Essence, where we unlock the essence of every book so you get the wisdom without spending weeks reading. Today, we are breaking down one of the most important and scientifically rigorous books ever written about what actually makes people successful, Grit by Angela Duckworth. Angela Duckworth left a demanding career in consulting to become a teacher in New York City public schools, and she noticed something that changed the direction of her life. Her most talented students were not always her best students, and her best students were not always her most talented. Something else, something she could not yet name, seemed to matter more than anything else. That something was grit. Let us unlock it. Duckworth defines grit with elegant simplicity. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Not talent, not intelligence, not charm. Passion, a deep, enduring interest in a specific direction, and perseverance, the sustained commitment to keep going through difficulty, failure, boredom, and doubt over months and years and decades. Together, passion and perseverance, that is grit. Duckworth developed what she calls the grit scale, a simple questionnaire that measures a person's level of grit, and she began testing it across some of the most demanding selection environments in the world. At West Point Military Academy, where thousands of talented, highly motivated young people are admitted every year, and a significant number drop out during the brutal first summer of training, what predicted who would make it through? Not SAT scores, not physical fitness ratings, not leadership scores or academic achievement. Grit, measured before training even began. The grittier candidates, the ones with deeper passion and stronger perseverance, made it through at significantly higher rates than their less gritty peers, regardless of how talented or physically capable those peers were. The same pattern appeared in spelling bee competitions, sales teams, teacher effectiveness, and military special forces. Across domains, grit predicted success more powerfully than talent alone. Here's where the book becomes genuinely uncomfortable for anyone who has ever been called talented. Duckworth argues that our culture is dangerously obsessed with talent. We celebrate natural ability. We seek out prodigies. We tell stories about people who were just born special, as if greatness descended on them fully formed, rather than being built through years of invisible effort. And this obsession with talent has a hidden, damaging consequence. When we attribute success primarily to natural talent, we subtly communicate that effort does not matter much. If you have to work hard at something, it must mean you do not have natural talent for it. This is a deeply damaging idea, and it's demonstrably false. Duckworth presents a simple equation that captures her research findings. Talent multiplied by effort equals skill. Skill multiplied by effort equals achievement. Notice that effort appears twice. Talent appears once. This means effort contributes twice as much to achievement as talent does. The person with moderate talent who works with extraordinary consistency will almost always out-achieve the person with extraordinary talent who works only moderately. This is not just motivational rhetoric, it's what the data consistently shows across decades of research in multiple fields. Duckworth identifies 4 psychological assets that together make up a gritty person. The first asset is interest. Gritty people are deeply interested in what they do, not just professionally competent, but genuinely fascinated. They think about their work even when they don't have to. They find aspects of it endlessly engaging. Duckworth makes an important point here. Passion is not something that strikes you like lightning. It's something that develops over time through exploration, exposure, and deepening engagement. You don't find your passion, you cultivate it. The second asset is practice. Gritty people practice differently from average performers. They engage in what psychologists call deliberate practice, focused, effortful repetition of the specific skills that need the most improvement. Not just doing what you're already comfortable with, but consistently pushing into areas of weakness and difficulty. The third asset is purpose. Gritty people connect their work to something beyond themselves. They believe that what they do matters to other people, to their community, to the world. This sense of purpose acts as fuel during the inevitable periods when passion alone is not enough. The fourth asset is hope. Not wishful thinking, but what Duckworth calls growth-oriented hope. The belief that tomorrow can be better than today because of the actions you take today. The belief that effort and learning will produce improvement, even when improvement is not yet visible. Of the four assets, practice deserves the deepest exploration, because practice is where the actual transformation happens, and most people practice in ways that produce very little real improvement. Duckworth draws on the research of psychologist Anders Ericsson, whose decades of study on world-class performers revealed a consistent pattern. The best performers in virtually every field, music, sport, chess, medicine, teaching, did not simply practice more than others. They practiced differently. Deliberate practice has four key characteristics. First, it's designed to improve specific weaknesses, not to repeat what you already do well, but to identify the exact point of failure and work on that specific thing repeatedly. Second, it operates at the edge of current ability, hard enough to require real mental effort, not so hard that it becomes impossible. Third, it involves immediate and informative feedback. You know quickly whether what you just did moved you towards or away from the target. Fourth, it requires full concentration, not mindless repetition, but complete, focused engagement with the goal of getting better at this specific thing. Duckworth is honest about this. Deliberate practice is not enjoyable in the moment. It's effortful, uncomfortable, and sometimes discouraging. But the people who sustain it, who show up for it day after day over years, produce results that look almost miraculous to outside observers. What looks like talent is often just deliberate practice done consistently for a very long time. One of the most practically important sections of this book addresses how grit is developed in children and what parents and teachers can do to foster it. Duckworth identifies what she calls the wise parenting style as most associated with raising gritty children. Wise parents are simultaneously demanding and supportive. They set high standards, and they provide the warmth, encouragement, and scaffolding children need to meet them. They don't rescue children from difficulty. They support children through difficulty, which is a completely different thing. They allow failure. They normalize struggle. They communicate clearly that effort and learning are more important than performance and outcome. Duckworth also discusses the importance of extracurricular activities, specifically the hard thing rule she applied in her own family. Every family member, including parents, had to pursue at least one hard thing, a discipline that required deliberate practice, something that would sometimes be boring, difficult, and frustrating, and no one was allowed to quit in the middle. You could choose not to continue at the end of a season or a year, but not simply because today was hard. The question that matters most for every reader of this book is this: can I develop more grit? Duckworth's answer, based on her research, is yes. Grit is not a fixed trait you're born with or without. It's a capacity that can be deliberately developed through specific practices and environments. Cultivate interest by exploring broadly first, and then going deep in the area that genuinely engages you most. Develop deliberate practice habits. Identify your weaknesses, work on them specifically, get feedback, and show up consistently. Connect your work to a purpose larger than yourself. Find the way in which what you do serves other people, and let that connection fuel you through the difficult periods. Build hope, specifically growth-oriented hope, by remembering times you've improved through effort, and by surrounding yourself with people who modeled the belief that getting better is always possible. Duckworth also points to the power of a gritty culture. When you're surrounded by people who persist, who show up, who work hard, who don't quit, your own grit is strengthened by their example. Choose your environment deliberately because the culture around you shapes the person you're becoming far more powerfully than most people realize. Let us bring together the greatest lessons from grit. 1. Grit is passion and perseverance for long-term goals. It predicts success more powerfully than talent alone. 2. Effort counts twice. Talent times effort equals skill. Skill times effort equals achievement. Don't worship talent, worship effort. 3. The 4 assets of grit are interest, practice, purpose, and hope. Develop all 4 deliberately. 4. Deliberate practice, focused, effortful, specific, is what separates world-class performers from everyone else. It's uncomfortable, it's necessary, it works. 5. Grit can be nurtured in children through wise parenting that is simultaneously demanding and warm. Allow struggle, support through it, never rescue from it. 6. Grit can be grown at any age through deliberate practice, deeper purpose, growth-oriented hope, and a gritty culture. Angela Duckworth ends with a truth that is both challenging and deeply encouraging. Our potential is one thing. What we do with it is quite another. Talent is given, grit is built, and grit, more than almost anything else, determines what your life becomes. That is the essence of grit, and that is what we do here at Book Essence. We take the world's most powerful books and unlock their wisdom, so you can start building your grit starting today. If this video inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear that effort matters more than talent. Every week on Book Essence, a new book, a new lesson, a new chance to grow. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing, and keep unlocking your essence. See you in the next one.